Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. This is educational purpose only. This is all my thoughts, speculations, and opinions. Thank you all for being mindful and respectful in the comment channel. I really do appreciate that. Today I'd like to talk about Eric Gower. He was a private shared driver who drove Maddie and Kaylee home. They reached home at 1:56 a.m., although the police never changed the timelines, and they said that all the 4 victims were home at 1:45, which was incorrect. Ethan's friend received the last text from Ethan saying that Ethan said he was still at the Sigma Chi, and that text came at 2:10. The friend and the friend's mother told the FBI, but the timelines wasn't still changed, allegedly. Eric Gower, or Eric G., drove Maddie and Kaylee plenty of times, including Xana. This is somebody who knows the girls and the residents, 1122 Kings Road. He comes up in the transcript too. DM, the witness, texted Eric G., the private driver, and asked him if he was still around, if he was still driving. Because she allegedly, or not allegedly, these are from the new documents, she wanted Eric G. to drive her to a food truck. It wasn't mentioned specifically which food truck, because DMBF, Kaylee and Maddie were talking about the food they had at the grub truck in Kaylee's room. So we don't actually know why DM was texting Eric. I wonder if that was a code, that maybe everything is clear. Just saying. And did Eric respond? Did he come? I don't think he drove her, so she canceled the ride. Eric said in the beginning of this case on his interview that the girls were just talking about their night and all. They didn't mention anything about Adam, and they didn't look worried or anything. They were looking forward to sharing their food. The Calibona. Oh, sorry. Forgot the name of what it was. The macaroni and cheese. So if Eric drove them home and Olivia, Kaylee's sister, said that she saw them going inside the house, they took their dog out to potty and they locked the doors. How did she see that? Was it through the neighbor's cam? But she would have heard that. She wouldn't have seen them unless they passed the neighbor's camera, I would believe.
Authorities are calling it a crime of passion. Here's Stephen Fabian.
It's the chilling last photo of 4 University of Idaho students taken just hours before they were found murdered. They were identified as freshman Ethan Chapin, his girlfriend Zana Kernodle, Kaylee Gonzalez, and Madison Mogan. It's being called a crime of passion. The killer or killers used an edged weapon such as a knife, police just revealed. I spoke with Kaylee Gonzalez's sister, Olivia, who described the last night of the students' lives.
My sisters did everything right. They went out in the buddy system. They went out together. They Ubered out. They stopped and got food. They Ubered home. They let their dog out to go potty, and then they locked their house up. Ubered home. They let their dog out to go potty, and then they locked their house up. They did everything right. And this still happened.
We all know that Kaylee's sister, Olivia, was the one collecting all the information from the very beginning, from the private share driver, from the grub truck video, from the neighbors. So I would have assumed she would have seen the neighbor's camera to have known that the sisters came home, locked up the house, let the dog out to potty, basically locked the door after that, and this still happened. Could something have happened when they let the dog out to potty, is my question. Did anyone see them? Was Murphy barking? Somebody who knows Murphy well could have lured him away, in my opinion. How come Murphy didn't have one speck of red liquid on him? Because I don't believe he was at the crime scene at all. He couldn't have been there. Somebody could have taken him out and placed him back right before the cops came. Because we didn't hear about Murphy when 911 was called. We didn't hear a dog barking. Where was Murphy? Why was he so quiet? Could they have rugged him? How many people know Murphy well? That would be Kaylee, Jack D, the two owners, her family, DM, BF, Xana, Ethan, and the people who regularly visit this house. Did they actually take DNA tests and swab tests of Murphy? Because it would have plenty of DNA, I'm sure. If it doesn't, that means Murphy wasn't in the crime scene at all. And the dog would have barked if it saw a stranger. That's why I believe it is people the girls knew. DM said to the grand jury, it leaked out. She said she heard rummaging upstairs. What happened to that? And she thought it was the Sigma Chi fraternity boys. Allegedly, that leaked out from the grand jury, and Banfield told us that. We were told in the beginning the surviving roommates were sleeping, but now we know they were awake. Both of the surviving roommates saw Xana on the floor. Ethan, they haven't mentioned anything about. How come they haven't mentioned anything about Ethan? Where was he when Xana was on the floor? How come they're not mentioning any red liquid smell? Any red liquid on Xana's clothes? Don't mean to be graphic. Where was Ethan? It was a horrific crime scene, a brutal crime scene. What does Eric G, the driver, know? Because he drove Kaylee and Maddie to the corner club. He drove them back from the grub truck to the house. Could Jack Schwarter have followed them? He was upset, allegedly. This was unfortunately one of the last pictures taken of Maddie and Kaylee that night, with Jack D. And that was at 1:25 a.m. When did Jack D reach home? When did he fall asleep? Steve G said that the police know for a fact he was sleeping because they can tell by the movements and the phone should have been lying next to him. Something like that. He could have had his phone under whoever was sleeping in the houses under their pillow. Allegedly, why was he ruled out the loss? I'm not saying he's involved, but I'm saying there's so many questions. Why wasn't Murphy harmed or injured? Thank God the poor animal isn't injured. But why? Did someone give Murphy a bath? He had no DNA on him. I still would love to know what Maddie told Adam. And Adam must have told Jack D or someone else, because Showalter said, "You know we're going to get you for that, Maddie," on the way to the corner club. Sorry, on the way to the grub truck. Did something happen at the corner club? We heard that Showalter was thrown out. Could that put him in a rage? We could see Maddie pointing towards Showalter and Jovita and saying, "F you, mister, sorry for my language." So there was a lot of tensions going on that night. We haven't seen one footage of BK so far, unless they have that under gag order, but by now they would have used it. Doesn't add up.
So I'm assuming